नमस्ते, डॉक्टर नील कुलकर्णी, adhyoga.com, adhioyoga.com. This is the 11th free lecture titled Study of Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. At the beginning, I am going to chant in order to emphasize that chanting is an essential yoga practice and extremely beneficial for studying the philosophy. So first I will chant for 5 minutes, followed by continuation of the study of Yoga Sutras. This is beginning of the third chapter, Vibhuti Path. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Patanjalaye Namaha. अथ श्रीपातञ्जलयोगदर्शनम् विभूतिपादः देशबन्धश्चित्तस्य धारणा तत्र प्रत्ययैकतानताध्यानम् तदेवार्थमात्रनिर्भासं स्वरूपशून्यमेव समाधिः त्रयमेकत्र संयमः तज्जयात् प्रज्ञालोकः तस्य भूमिषु विनियोगः त्रयमन्तरङ्गं पूर्वेभ्यः तदपि बहिरङ्गं निर्बीजस्य व्युत्थाननिरोधसंस्कारयोरभिभवप्रादुर्भावौ निरोधक्षणचित्तान्वयो निरोधपरिणामः तस्य प्रशान्तवाहिता संस्कारात् सर्वार्थतैकाग्रतयोः क्षयोदयौ चित्तस्य समाधिपरिणामः शान्तोदितौ तुल्यप्रत्ययौ चित्तस्यैकाग्रतापरिणामः एतेन भूतेन्द्रियेषु धर्मलक्षणावस्था परिणामा व्याख्याताः शान्तोदिता व्यपदेश्य धर्मानुपाती धर्मी क्रमान्यत्वम् परिणामान्यत्वे हेतुः परिणामत्रयसंयमाततीतानागतज्ञानम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति. Okay, now I will go to the study of Yoga Sutras. Now we have come to chapter 6, Ashtanga Yoga Prakarana of Patanjali Code, and we have finished discussion on Yama and Niyama and the effects on them, effects of them. So obviously we come to the next limb of Ashtanga, that is Sthira Sukham Asanam. So 6.20, which is original 2.46, Sthira Sukham Asanam. I will like to combine this with next two sutras, 6.21 and 6.22, which are original 2.47 and 2.48. So original 2.46, 2.47 and 2.48 are now 6.20, 6.21 and 6.22. So I'll sing these three of them. Sthira Sukhamasanam Prayatna Shaithilyananta Samapatibhyam Toto Dvandvanabhikhatah. So the first one is asana should be steady as well as comfortable. The second one is such a posture is attained by relaxing all physical activity and absorbing the mind in the infinite. Then the third one says when asana is established, dichotomies do not cause problems for the yogis. Now, you will find that steady and comfortable posture here means only posture for meditation or at the most for pranayama, because when you relax all the physical body parts and absorb the mind in infinite, you cannot perform any yoga exercise postures such as Shirshasana, Trikonasana, etc. So the only posture here indicated is a sitting posture with a comfortable status and also steady. And it says that when you attain this posture properly, all the dichotomies will disappear. That means you will not be affected by any physical disturbance at all, as well as mental disturbance will reduce, which means that any disturbance related to sitting will be reduced. Disturbance related to some other psychological problems will not reduce. The disturbance to the psychological problems may in fact increase, because when you try to attain a steady pose, your all energy will be diverted to the mental functions, and if the mental functions are disturbed, they will be aggravated, and that is the purpose of steady comfortable pose, so that you can focus on the mind and try to make the mind better. So therefore, before starting the meditation in the Patanjali system, you are supposed to make your mind very peaceful. Making the mind peaceful is not meditation in Patanjali system. Making the mind peaceful is a pre-requirement of meditation. Anyway, now we have covered the limb called asana. Now we will go to pranayama. So the original 2.49, the original 2.50, the original 2.51, and the original 2.52, and the original 2.53. So you will see that exactly 6 sutras, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly 5 sutras are there in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras about pranayama. So if you understand these 5 sutras, you will be able to understand the pranayama in the Patanjali's yoga system. So the first thing it says is you should attain a steady and comfortable pose. So now in my system or Patanjali's code, it is 6.23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Also same, 5 sutras. Now I will sing them. Tasmin sati श्वास प्रश्वासयोर्गतिविच्छेद प्राणायामः स तु बाह्याभ्यन्तरस्तम्भवृत्तिर्देशकालसंख्याभिः परिदृष्टो दीर्घसूक्ष्मः बाह्याभ्यंतर विषयाक्षेपी चतुर्थः ततः क्षीयते प्रकाशावरणम् धारणासु च योग्यता मनसः. So now I will translate these 5 sutras. The first one, it says, when the comfortable and steady pose is attained and when all the dichotomies of disturbance are removed for the yogi, the manipulation of the speed of inhalations and exhalations is called pranayama, and the manipulation of inhalation and exhalation automatically includes stoppage of the breath, because when you inhale, before you exhale you have to stop, so you have to manipulate that stoppage also, and after you exhale and before you inhale you have to again stop, so that also you have to manipulate. Now he is giving the properties of pranayama, that pranayama consists of long, subtle and regulated exhalation and regulated inhalation and regulated breath. So it is regulated inhalation, exhalation and also stoppage. And how do you measure this? Long and subtle. It is measured in space. That means how much breath you are taking, how much air you are taking in. Then it is regulated in time, that how long you take to do inhalation, how long you take to exhalation and how long you stop in or out. And also it involves counting. So counting is required because you want to compare how much inhalation compared to exhalation compared to stoppage. That is the counting. Very good. So it is very simple that you have to count it. Now there are three types of possibilities. One is inhalation, exhalation and stoppage. So there are three possibilities. Inhalation is called Puraka and exhalation is called Rechaka and stoppage is called Kumbhaka. We are not going to discuss this here, but you have to understand that in the Patanjali system, without stoppage, there is no pranayam. Stoppage must take place. Okay. The next sutra says there is a fourth type of pranayam, that is not inhalation, not exhalation, and not stoppage. There is a fourth kind of pranayam. So the fourth pranayam is retention that takes place with no consideration of internal and external space. That means that without considering any other factors, especially without knowing whether there is a internal retention, that means whether there is a retention after inhalation called antar kumbhak, or whether there is a retention after exhalation called bahya kumbhak or bahir kumbhak. Without this consideration, a automatic retention is taking place. This is called sahaj kumbhak or automatic kumbhak or automatic retention. This is the fourth kind of pranayam. It is also called kevala kumbhak, absolute retention. Now, he has described four pranayams or four elements of pranayam: inhalation, exhalation, retention either inside or outside, and fourth one is automatic retention. So there is no question of internal or external. Now what he is saying is, this pranayam, what does it do? Tatakshiyate prakasha varnam. Now prakasha means in yoga terminology sattva guna. Sattva guna. Now prakasha is also indication of knowledge, because sattva guna prominence automatically means one is associating with the knowledge or cognition, and correct cognition, of course. So what happens is that the original chitta is made up prominently of sattva, and when there is any impurity, that causes problem in getting the knowledge. So the predominance of sattva is very important. Now in the past I explained to you that out of sattva, rajas and tamas, one predominates, the other try to subdue it. So rajas and tamas means covering on the sattva. So due to pranayam, sattva is predominant and the covering of rajas and tamas is reduced or even removed. Why is this required? Because you want to get a pure sattva, that is a reduction of chitta vrittis. But anyway, pure sattva is required for further meditative practices. And obviously the next sutra immediately tells how pranayam helps the meditative practice. Meditative practice starts with dharana, that is trying to concentrate the mind. Dharana means holding your mind to something which is trying to concentrate, not to concentrated, trying to concentrate. Now what it says is dharana sucha योग्यता मनसः. Now, I already told you, chitta consists of buddhi, mahat, ahankar and manas. All the perceptions are coming to manas, and manas is also doing a kind of thinking called sankalpa vikalpa. So that the mind is the problem for meditation. That means meditation has to be done with the mind, and mind itself is the problem for meditation, because the mind is getting all the perceptions, and mind is manipulating all the perceptions, and mind is trying to memorize all the perceptions, and mind is creating different imaginations from the perceptions, and therefore the mind has to be ready for the meditation. And it says dharana sucha yogyata manasaha, means due to pranayam practice a an ability of mind to concentrate will happen, and that is because of prominence of sattva guna. I think I will cover two more sutras, 6.28 and 6.29. These also are exactly in succession with the original sutras, 2.54 and 2.55. They are like this. Swavishaya samprayoge चित्तस्वरूपानुकार इवेन्द्रियाणाम प्रत्याहारः ततः परमा वश्यतेन्द्रियाणाम. So, in these two sutras, which are 6.28 and 6.29 in Patanjali code, he is telling the next limb, which is called pratyahara. Prati means in opposite direction, and ahara means a taking of something and intaking of information or intaking of perception. That is what it means here. So chitta is getting perceptions from the external world, external to the chitta. That's where it is getting it from, and that is causing the chitta vritti, and chitta vritti is causing the non-perception or non-realization of the Purusha. And therefore, we have to stop the chitta vrittis. That means that we should stop the perception coming into the chitta from the world external to the chitta. So what it is doing now is, the chitta is getting all the perceptions from the sense organs, which are organ of touch, organ of taste, organ of hearing, organ of seeing, and organ of smell. So from these panchendriyas, a perception is coming to chitta, and the function of these organs is to get the perception. So what it is telling now is that instead of getting the external perceptions using these indriyas should be turned inward in the opposite direction, so that they cannot get external perception. स्वविषया संप्रयोगे चित्तस्वरूपानुकार इवेन्द्रियाणाम प्रत्याहारः. This means when the organs of perception are not used for their usual work, and they tend to merge into the chitta itself, and therefore this is called pratyahara, which is reversed perception. Pratyahara. reverse perception. Now, the next sutra and the last sutra of the second original chapter and the 6.29 of the Patanjali code, he says, what is the effect of this pratyahar? Tatah parama vashyate driyanam. So he says, due to the pratyahara, supreme mastery over the organs of perception is achieved. So, organs of perception, they are brought under the control of the mind, and this happens then the organs of perception will not be going outward for getting external perception, and they will be controlled. So now this is the fifth limb we have completed of the Ashtanga Yoga. Next time we'll go to 6, 7, 8 limb. So we are still continuing the chapter 6. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.